Everywhere around the world, they come to America. Every time that flag's unfurled, they come to America. Got a dream to take them there. They come to America. Got a dream they come to share. They come to America. They come to America. They come to America. They come to America. They come to America today.
The 1982 Atlanta Braves, coming to America. Did anyone really expect the Atlanta Braves to soar to great heights in 1982? Maybe not, but when the Braves opened the season in San Diego, they were about to start their march toward rewriting the record books. The Braves swept their opening series with the Padres, offering a prelude of things to come both in the field and at bat, where Dale Murphy started the year strongly on his way to winning the National League's Player of the Month honors for April with 6 homers and 22 RBIs. Back home in Atlanta, the Braves continued their winning ways and signed on a new group of followers who enjoyed following the ball out of the park.
Well hit! Whoa! Watch it! How far is it going? Thanks! Murphy!
Early on, National League opponents found that Atlanta was indeed a brave new world, especially when the Astros fell 3 straight times as Rick Mailer climaxed the series with his 2nd straight shutout. Mailer opened the year with 23 consecutive scoreless innings and earned the National League's first Player of the Week honors for his efforts as the winning continued.
Pitch on the way to Cruz. Bouncing ball to first. Here's your ball game. Chris Chambliss steps in the bag. The Braves are 5-0.
No doubt about it. The Braves were excited about their newfound success and anxious to set sail for Cincinnati. And when they were through, the Braves left town with the Reds feeling blue. Rick Camp came out of the bullpen to win his first game of the year as the Braves completed their 2nd straight 3-game sweep. Post-game celebrations were becoming commonplace as the win streak reached 8. From Cincinnati, the Braves' roaring road show hit Houston, where the rave reviews continued, especially when a 5-run 5th inning erased a 3-0 Astro lead. Then in the 9th, Rick Camp pulled down the final curtain on the Astros.
And a 1-0 pitch comes to Garner. Bouncing ball to third. There's 1. There's 2, and the Braves are 9-0.
2 more wins over the Astros ran the streak to 11, tying a Major League record for the most consecutive victories at the start of a season set in 1981 by the Oakland A's. One night later, the Braves came home with hopes of winning number 12 and making history against Cincinnati.
Murphy going back. Butler going back at the wall. They did it! The Atlanta Braves have done it! Look at the mob scene. The police can't control the crowd. Get your batting helmets on and get out of there, boys.
Witnessing history drove Braves fans into a frenzy as they ran on the field in a joyous celebration. And if the fans seemed ecstatic for the Braves' 12th straight win, then Claudell Washington must have sent them on the warpath one night later.
Here's the wide and the 1-0 pitch. Line drive, base hit, center field. Ramirez scores. Here comes Butler. Here comes the throw. The Braves have won their 13th straight. Claudell Washington drives home 2 runs with a 2-run, 2-out 9th inning single, and Atlanta Fulton County Stadium is going crazy again.
And who could blame them? By winning their first 13 games, the Braves not only set a major league mark for the most wins from the start of a season, but they also set a team record for most consecutive victories. But more than that, they won the hearts of millions of fans all over America, especially in Atlanta, where Braves backers were relishing the thoughts of their team's first Western Division championship since 1969. But to the Braves themselves, the record streak was more than just a historical event. To them, the streak separated their past from their future. And for that, they were just as excited as their fans.
It's a great feeling. I just hope this is a prelude to many more of them.
Well, everybody believed in themselves, and you know, we never thought we'd start a streak. We just knew we'd win the division this year.
We have the confidence and desire, you know, and the depth on this ball club to go all the way this year.
It wasn't one guy, it wasn't one pitcher, it wasn't one player. It was 25 guys. Even the guys that never got in the ball game were pushing and pulling for the other guys in the field.
Now the teams are going to look at us a little differently, and they're going to come out and play their best game, and then we're going to have to meet the challenge later on.
The streak ended with a loss to Cincinnati in Game 14. But then, no one really expected the Braves to win all their games, except maybe Joe Torre, whose positive attitude pointed the Braves in a winning direction.
The only ones I'm concerned about are the guys who play the game for me. You know, as long as they believe that they belong where they are, then that's all that really counts, because I'm a firm believer in your mind ruling your body.
New manager Torre was no stranger to Braves fans, as he played in both Milwaukee and Atlanta before moving to St. Louis, where he was named the league's most valuable player in 1971. Joe finished his playing career in New York and became the Mets manager in 1977 before coming to Atlanta with former Met coaches Bob Gibson and Rube Walker.
I think Rube Walker and Bob Gibson have made a big difference on the pitching staff this year. They just stay on things so close. They're great communicators. They talk. Bob Gibson looks at the pitching staff as a pitcher from the mound. Rube Walker looks at the pitching staff from the catching end of it because he caught. So you've got four eyes looking at you instead of two, and I'm sure they can come up with see more things than one pitching coach can.
And the eyes had it when it came to double plays, too, because in 1982, the Braves were #1 when it came to turning two.
One can have a dream, baby. Two can make that dream so real. One can talk about being in love. Two can say how it really feels. One can worship on a star. Two can make that wish come true, yeah. One can stand alone in the dark. Two can make the light shine through. It takes two, baby. It takes two, baby. Me and you. Just take two. It takes two, baby. It takes two, baby. To make a dream come true. Just take two.
All across America, Braves fans realized that it was never too late for dreams to come true, especially during 1 week in late June, when the Braves repeatedly staged late-inning rallies, starting with Chris Chambliss.
Signed by Brenly. Mitten is ready. So's Chambliss, and the pitch. Swung on, drilled. Deep left center field. Davis. Way back, way back, way back. It's off the fence, and the Braves win. It's off the fence, and the Braves win. Chris Chambliss.
Throughout the year, the home of the Braves sizzled with last-gasp excitement, with thanks on this night to Glenn Hubbard.
Hubbard and everyone on their feet with one out. Winning run at second. Pitch to Hubbard. Swung on, a line drive hit left center field, and the Braves are going to win. The Braves are going to win. Here comes Rufy.
In all, the Braves came from behind 46 times to win. This one courtesy of Biff Pocaroba.
A 1-1 to Pocaroba. Ground ball, right field. One run is in. Here comes Royster. Pulls through. Atlanta wins. Atlanta wins. Atlanta wins. This place is going crazy. Pocaroba drilled one into right field. And the Braves have scored 4 in the ninth. And they've won the ball game 5-4. Listen to this crowd.
For that kind of excitement, Braves baseball was certainly a spectacle to see in 1982, as an all-time attendance mark will attest. And on July 4th, the largest crowd of the year saw Bob Horner slam 2 home runs.
Horner drives another one left field. Miller going back, looking up. See you later, home run.
Horner went on to hit 6 homers in 5 days in early July as the Braves began to provide more power for the people. In fact, a major reason for the team's success in 1982 was their league-leading 146 home runs, as the Braves earned the nickname the Sultans of Swing.
With the Sultans, with the Sultans of Swing.
Those Sultans included Rafael Ramirez, who had 10 home runs. And Claudell Washington, who hit 16. Then there was Chris Chambliss, who added 20 homers. And Bob Horner, who hit 32. And the leader of the Braves power parade, Dale Murphy, whose 36 home runs were the second most in the National League. In Atlanta, Murphy's law meant that whatever could go wrong would go wrong, for opposing pitchers, that is, as Murphy hit the ball hard to all fields and wound up leading the league in RBI. Murphy also proved to be a man for all reasons. His 23 stolen bases were the third most on the team. And his outfield defense earned him a Gold Glove. In the end, Murphy's all-around talent was recognized as he was selected the National League's most valuable player.
There's only a few things you can control on the field, is your attitude and hustling and playing good hard baseball. You know, you're going to hit the ball hard and you're going to hit it right at the guy. You know, sometimes you're going to get beat, sometimes you're going to win. Things that you can control is playing hard and thinking out there on the field and having a good attitude every day. And if you do that as a team, you're going to be successful more times than not.
More times than not, the Braves were successful. But during the dog days of August, they saw their hard-earned 9-game lead just slip away. Tom Lasorda's Dodgers won 8 games against the Braves in only 10 days. And to make matters worse, the losing wasn't all the Dodgers doing, as Brave misplays led directly to more than a few Los Angeles victories. Unfortunately for the Braves, the problems that started with the Dodgers didn't end with the Dodgers. In just 3 short weeks, the Braves lost 19 of 21 games and fell out of first place for the first time in 106 days. But just when it seemed that the Braves would disappear from the race, things turned around. And one reason was Joe Torre, who managed to keep things calm during troubled times. Another was Pascual Perez, even if it wasn't a roundabout way. On August 19th, Perez got lost on his way to Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. No one knew where Pascual was, and as it turned out, neither did he. But fortunately for the Braves, Phil Niekro stepped in as a last-second starter and stopped the Expos on just 3 hits. As it turned out, the case of the missing pitcher turned out to be just what the Braves needed to break the tension of a bad slump. What followed was a modest 6-game winning streak that vaulted the Braves back into first place. Without a doubt, the key to the streak was held by Niekro, who followed his unexpected start with a regularly scheduled win against the Phillies. In 1982, Phil Niekro won when the Braves needed a win. And his 17-4 record was an added jewel to a marvelous Braves career filled with 2 decades of heartwarming memories.
The memory live again.
For Necro, the memories did live again, and when the Dodgers came to Atlanta on September 8th, Necro and the Braves were ready to turn the tables on the division leaders. Claudell Washington got the Braves started on their march back to the top of the West when he gave the Braves an early lead. But late in the game, Steve Garvey returned the favor, and the Braves and Dodgers went into extra innings with the score tied at 11. Then in the 10th, with 1 out and 2 men on, Dale Murphy came through again as his single to center scored Washington and gave the Braves a 12-11 win. The next night, the Braves defense kept the Dodgers off balance all night long. Meanwhile, Fernando Valenzuela couldn't handle Bruce Benedict and the rest of the Atlanta attack as the Braves rolled to a 2-game sweep of the Dodgers. Steve Bedrosian came on in relief and continued on his way toward registering the best strikeout to innings pitched ratio of any reliever in baseball. And the Braves moved back into first place. 2 weeks later at the home finale, Braves fans showed their gratitude for a memorable season. Unfortunately, the umpires didn't see things the same way as Terry Harper's running catch was ruled no catch at all. No one could really believe it. The loss dropped the Braves into second place with only 1 week to play. And that week meant 7 games on the road, including 4 against the Dodgers and the Giants. Fortunately, Rafael Ramirez helped get the Braves started in the right direction when his early home run keyed a 7-0 Braves win. The next night, the Braves literally stole one from the Giants. With 6 stolen bases and 6 2/3 scoreless innings of relief by Pascual Perez, the Braves completed their 2-game sweep of the Giants. While the Braves were winning twice, the Dodgers were losing twice, moving the Braves back into first place. And the next night in Los Angeles, Tommy Boggs helped keep them there by holding the Dodgers in check for 6 innings. Then in the 12th, with the score tied at 2, Terry Harper drove in Ramirez with the winning run. So despite a loss the next night, the Braves still had a 1-game lead going into the final weekend of the season in San Diego. After gaining the upper hand on the Dodgers and Giants during the week, the Braves looked to Phil Niekro on Friday to help them keep it. And Phil Niekro, the hitter, did. But so did Phil Niekro, the pitcher, whose second shutout in 5 days gave the Braves a much-needed win and earned Niekro the National League's Final Player of the Week award. The next night, Gene Garber came on to record his 30th save of the year, a team record, and one of 51 saves registered by the league-leading bullpen as the Braves beat the Padres again. Needing just a win of their own or a Dodger loss in San Francisco to clinch the pennant, the Braves dropped the final game of the year. But when the Braves looked to the north, they liked what they saw. Their first 2 wins over the Padres had been enough. America's team had won the West. So it was off to the heartland, to St. Louis, for game number 1 of the National League playoffs, where Phil Niekro continued his scoreless streak and shut down the Cardinals for 4 2/3 innings. Then the rains came. Unfortunately for the Braves, the sun never came out again, and Niekro's superb effort in Game 1 was washed away. The Braves never seemed to get back on track after that, and in the end, each drop of falling rain might have symbolized the collective tears of Braves fans all over America as the Cardinals swept the series. Still, the Braves did have a banner year in 1982. And when 1983 comes into focus, look for the Braves to be on top again. Especially with new additions like Terry Forster, who was signed as a free agent from the Dodgers. And Pete Falcone from the New York Mets. Both should add left-handed depth to an already solid pitching staff. Then, of course, there's the Braves' dynamic duo of Bob Horner and Dale Murphy. In 1982, the Braves brought unparalleled excitement to all their fans across America. And more of the same can be expected in 1983 as the Braves will be coming to America once again.
They're coming to America.